Kiddushin daf Yud Beis. How's everybody doing? We're already 11 daf into Kiddushin. It's flying by just like that. I hope you're enjoying. If you haven't tried out the full shir, please give it a try. It's only approximately 40-45 minutes. It's a whole different game. Stories, charts, more charts. We're talking about Shidas Beis Hillel. How are you mekadesh a woman? Bekesef. How much kesef? Beis Hillel say a pruta. What does a pruta mean? There's two ways to understand it. Either a pruta is the smallest denomination in that country. So say you live in America, in the UK, 1 penny. Or perhaps it's a certain amount that Moshe Rabbeinu had in his generation, all generations, a certain amount, a half a barley corn of silver. Rav Yosef says that it's the smallest denomination. Why? He says because it says that if somebody's moil in Hegdish, that means if somebody uses something from the Beis Hamikdash, even if it's 1 pruta worth, he has to pay 2,000 times the amount. He has to bring a carbon, a sham me'ila, which is worth 2 slime. And if it's worth 2 slime, that means it's 2,000 prutas. We're going to go into it for a second. You see from here, unbelievable concept, that how careful a person has to be from doing an avera. To be moil is an avera. And if he does an avera, he might be liable for 2,000 times the amount. But Abaye tells him that a pruta has a shear. It's not true. Every pruta has a certain amount. It's not the smallest denomination. As we see in our Mishnah, it says in our Mishnah that it's echad mishmaynu b'yisir yitalki. So it has a certain value. And he brings other rayas. So what's the pshat over here with me'ila that's talking about a pruta? Because over there, it's close to 2,000. It's a little bit more than 1,500. And we'll explain. You see, a dinner, everybody knows, a dinner equals 192 prutas. And a sela has 4 dinarim. So if we're talking about 2 slime, that's 8 dinarim. So, easy math. 8 times 192, new, how much is it? 1,536. So why does the Gemara call it 2,000? Because anytime you go over a certain number, you're pushing the next number. You round it out to the next number. So over 1,500, now we say it's close to 2,000. According to Rav Shimon Gamliel, a pruta is worth more because there's only 6 prutas in an Isser. And according to the Tanakama, a pruta is always worth the same amount. It doesn't go more or less. A pruta is always 192 prutas per dinar. Just what changes is the Isser, another denomination called the Isser. Sometimes it's worth 24 per dinar, sometimes it's 32 a dinar. Shmuel says it's tremendous chiddush. Anytime a person is mekadesh a woman, let's say with a fruit, or even a branch of hadassim, and it's not worth a pruta in this city, well, you always have to be concerned that perhaps this fruit, this branch is worth more than a pruta somewhere else in the world. Who knows? Maybe it has a lot of value somewhere. And therefore, this woman might be mukudeshes, so she's mukudeshes besafek. Rav Chisda argues and says you don't have to be concerned that somewhere else in the world it's worth more. Not only that, Rav Chisda himself wasn't concerned if somebody came along and said, listen, I know for a fact that day it was worth more money. Or if they say there's Eidim that say it's worth more. Abaye and Rava said, we do have to be concerned for Eidim. What about the case of a woman who was captured? Over there, we're not concerned what the Eidim say. There's Eidim that come later and say, yes, she was captured. We believe the women that if they said that they were captured and they're tar, we believe them. Why? Because the woman that's captured, she's menavel herself, she makes herself disgusting in the eyes of her captors, and therefore, we don't have to be chayshish. Mashengim by Kiddushin. And we explained that Rav Yosef was concerned for Shmuel. You always have to be concerned that even if you have something that's worth less than a pruta and a person was mekadesh with it, perhaps it's worth more than a pruta somewhere else. And also, he said that we have to give this person malchus. Why? Because in our case, the person was mekadesh a woman in the middle of a marketplace with hadassim. That's already a zilzul. He's putting down the institution of Kiddushin by doing it in a public place like a market, and therefore he gets malchus. It happens to be that Rav gave malchus on a number of things. One, a person that's mekadesh in a marketplace, a person that's mekadesh a woman bebiyah, it's also a zilzul. A person that's mekadesh a woman without shidduchim, a person who sent a shliach to divorce his wife and then he's mevatel it, a person who was forced to give a get and then later on said, hey, I was forced to give a get, he's being moisi shemra on the mamzerim, on the children, he's calling them mamzerim. If shliach bezin comes and summons somebody to the Torah and that person beats up the shliach bezin, he shoots the messenger, he used to give him malchus. And if somebody was in a chayrim for 30 days and he didn't do anything about it, he used to get malchus. A son-in-law who lived by his mother-in-law's house, since mother-in-laws liked their son-in-laws, he gave them malchus. And if somebody has a special shame, like people know that this mother-in-law likes the son-in-law, just walking by her house, he also gave malchus. And some say that the only time Rav gave Malkus is on somebody who was Mekadesh, a woman B'Bia, and some people say even if that Bia came after Shidduchim, he would give Malkus. Rabbi Isai, have a wonderful day.